In getting ready for this morning, one of the things that I reflected on was Scripture. And that's something that is very deeply important to me. Something that quite literally gets me out of bed in the morning. One of the passages to me that is most significant about Scripture is in John, the Gospel of John. And it's the very beginning. And there John writes, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And he goes on to talk about how nothing was made, how humanity wasn't formed without the Word. N.T. Wright has a new modern translation of that passage. And instead of saying the Word was with God, he says the Word was very near to God. And that closeness and proximity is now with us because we have the Word in the form of Scripture. So that's why for me, one of the most encouraging things to do is to engage with the Word, especially the words that we find in red throughout some of our Bibles. Having the words of Christ in red and going through those big sermons and those big passages where Jesus shares from his heart, from the divine perspective, ways that we can live our life here on earth. And in there you'll find words of life, words of encouragement, words of blessing, words of paradox. The Sermon on the Mount is just so rich a place to discover God, where he tells us, "Blessed are those who mourn." He joins us in our sadness, promises that we will be comforted. "Blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are the meek, for they shall see God and they shall inherit the earth." Where else can you find such deep encouragement? And even more than encouragement, such deep understanding of where you are at any particular moment. One of my favorite parts of reading Scripture is going through a passage and then finding out, wow, this is really for me. It's almost as if God was speaking directly to me in this moment. Because in reading, I not only feel like I'm hearing from God, but I feel heard in that moment. And I think that's one of the great, some of the great magic we find in Scripture. That not only are we hearing from God, but in hearing from God, we know that we are heard by God.